Okay, so today I want to talk about perfectionism. It's that thing that we tell ourselves is just having high standards or doing our fucking best, but in reality, it's just our way of doing anything and everything but the actual thing. This episode is for anyone who's waiting to feel ready before they start, but here's my hot take. You're never going to feel ready. So let's get into it. What is perfectionism? So Google says, I had to Google it, right? I just wanted to know. I was just curious. It's not that I don't know what it means, but Google says perfectionism is a personality trait characterized by a demand for flawlessness and setting unrealistically high standards for oneself and others. Does that sound familiar to anybody else? I'm right here. I can hear you, Google. So we convince ourselves that perfectionism is a good thing and that it means that we have this drive for excellence and that we don't half-ass things around here and it has to be perfect or we're not representing ourselves the way we want to and we're not meeting the standards that we set for ourselves. We think that planning and preparing and getting ready, that if we can just learn enough and we can guarantee what this outcome is. If we plan enough, there's no way that anything could go wrong. If we do everything to be as ready as possible before we start, we're going to get the best results. We think that we're protecting ourselves from some kind of pain, from the embarrassment, from failure. The worst case scenario is that we're not successful and that we have to feel like a failure, or we embarrass ourselves because it didn't go as smoothly as we wanted. Maybe we trip over our words, or we made a mistake, or we say or do the wrong thing. But if we're perfectionists about it, it can't possibly go wrong, right? This can't possibly be the outcome. We think that we can control the outcome. We tell ourselves this lie that if we're just driven enough and if we just plan and prepare enough, if we put up our walls and protect ourselves from the pain and the embarrassment and the failure, then we can feel successful. We'll get the gold stars, or we'll get to experience this feeling that we believe is waiting for us at the finish line. But what are we actually doing? We're actually just fucking procrastinating. We're doing anything and everything but the thing. We're focusing so much on getting ready and the planning before that we never actually get started. In other words, we're hesitating and we're not doing anything at all. We're just talking. All talk, no action, all bullshit. We're trying to avoid the pain, which is understandable. When you look at pain as just pain, who the fuck would choose that? Even when it's not a conscious choice, as human beings, we're hardwired to avoid feeling pain. It's just a survival instinct and it's in our nature. So some of the things that we're interpreting as pain are just temporary pains. They're not going to kill us, and that's the biggest difference. So vulnerability feels like pain. Uncomfortability feels like pain. These are things that we're trying to avoid. Embarrassment feels like pain. But is it actually pain? Or are we just uncomfortable? Is it just scary and we just don't want to feel that? We're just trying to avoid the negative feelings, which is normal. Like, that's understandable. What's not normal is to choose to feel those things now so that we can get the reward from it later. We have to consciously make that decision though, because our instincts are not going to make it for us. So we have to be self-aware enough to realize that this is just fear. This fear is keeping me from doing this thing. It's not actually protecting me from danger. It's protecting me from my feelings. It's protecting me from feeling something that might not be super fun right now. And at the same time, it's preventing me from getting what I want, from the success that I'm after, for the results that I'm looking for. And fear is keeping us from growing. It's fear of making a mistake, of failure, of not being perfect, of not knowing everything, and of not being the best right away. We have to understand that and decide we're going to choose discomfort now and vulnerability now so that we can get what we want later. Staying in the warm, fuzzy, safe bubble, knowing everything, having the perfect plan, and being fully prepared only gets us more of the same things that we have and do now. Think about it. You're only going to truly feel ready and confident and prepared for the things that you've already experienced and had some success with some success with in the past. The first time you do anything, it's scary. You have those hesitations, fears, and worries, and all the negative feelings. But once you do it and experience it, now you've gained the proof that it can be done. You have collected the data to use at a later date. The first time, for example, the first time I got off of a ski lift, snowboarding, was terrifying. They don't stop, they just keep going, and you're just watching the people in front of you just falling off left and right. And you get to the top, there's no option. You either get off the chair on your own or you fall off of it. Either way, like it's happening with or without your permission. And I did it. I got off the lift. I didn't die. It didn't do great, but I know what to expect now. And the next time I get to the top of the ski lift, like, sure, I'm probably going to be scared, but I'm going to have the confidence knowing that this is possible. I can do this. It's not as scary. And the more you do it, the less scary it is, the more confident you feel. But if I tried to sit at the bottom of the fucking mountain and think about all the ways that I'm going to get off the lift when I get there and try and study and plan and learn, like, I'm never going to fucking do it because there's no way of knowing what that's going to feel like or be like until you actually do it. It's the only way to get through it. But we all want the proof and the reassurance before we do something, and that's just not the way it works. No amount of preparation, studying, or planning is going to get you that proof or the data or the confidence that you think you need. And if you wait for perfection, you're never going to be able to get started. The only way to change this is to reframe our thoughts around it. We learn more about ourselves and what we're capable of and what our limits are every time we do something new. The only way for us to figure out how to do something is by actually doing it. Unfortunately, that means that we have to be okay with it sucking for a little bit. And you have to be okay with the idea that people might find out that you don't know what you're doing and that you're just figuring it out, which, let's be real, isn't even as bad as we make it out to be. Especially if you just admit it, like, hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Bear with me. I'm just learning here. When I started this podcast, I literally knew nothing about podcasting. I was absolutely terrified to start. And I played the perfectionist game for a long time before I started. I went to an entire, like, fucking podcast convention to try and I was going to learn everything there is to know. I wanted to know what equipment to use, like, like everything you could possibly know about starting a podcast before starting it. And eventually I just had to reach the point of fuck it and just do it because there's I mean there's no amount of planning or preparation that is going to help you hit record and speak. Like there's just no way. And I just had to eventually get the fuck over it and get started. And there's so many episodes in the beginning where I'm like, hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm here and I showed up and I'm doing it and it was fine. Like no one no one was like, "Oh my God, what a loser. She doesn't like she got the wrong fucking microphones," or like she I don't even know. Like I don't even know what people could say. Like, "Oh, she sounds like an idiot." I mean, I guess they could say that, which is probably true in some of those episodes. I don't know, but nobody fucking came for me. Nobody gives a shit. Like if they don't like it, they just move on. Who cares? Like I'm doing it, they're not, whatever. I don't care what they have to say anyways. So everything is fine. I wasn't prepared. I just showed up and I did the thing and I'm still here and it wasn't as horrible as I thought or I wouldn't still be doing this, you know? I'm still showing up every day after a year I've been doing this now and it's fine. I mean, there's still days where I show up and I don't feel like I know what I'm doing still. Like today, I am fucking stumbling over my words left and right, but fuck it, whatever. Like still learning. I'm getting better at interviewing people. I'm getting better at like coming up with topics to talk about. But I had to get over it being perfect because the the fact of the matter is it's gonna suck first. Everything sucks before it gets good, you know? What actually really sucks though is being in the same exact place you are now 1 year from now. So imagine I never got over it. Imagine I'm still in this preparation planning stage a year from, like, a year later, And I didn't have a year's worth of episodes under my belt that I had to practice and learn how to write outlines and learn how to interview people. Or imagine 5 years from now, I'm still sitting on this idea and never fucking like got started. Which of those options is worse? And think about whatever it is you're procrastinating on getting started with. Which option is worse? Dealing with it sucking now, or dealing with the fact that a year from now, you'll still be in the same place if you don't just fucking get started? Is it doing something hard where you might struggle for a little bit or be uncomfortable for a little while in order to move closer to your goal? Or is it never progressing and never moving forward, or spending your life wishing that you'd taken a chance and pushed yourself past your limit to see what you might be capable of? Which is worse? Which one of those can you live with? The trick for me is really to look at everything as kind of a trial run or like a test and just kind of see what happens. So it doesn't really allow me to overthink things. And if my brain is telling me this is just practice, the real thing comes later on, then I'm okay with doing it ugly. I'm okay with like not going into it knowing everything. Who gives a fuck? Like the podcast was supposed to just be a trial run. Like, let me see if I like doing this, and if I don't, I'll fucking quit. Who will care, you know? No one's gonna listen to it anyway, I said. I had to just be okay with it being ugly and messy. And I guarantee you, if you look up anybody that you admire or you want to be like, or you look up to, if you look back, they probably had a like ugly duckling era where shit was messy and imperfect and they just wrote it out until it wasn't anymore. If you can start to try things by freeing yourself of any expectations, you might be surprised what kind of moves you could actually make.